I've been playing the drums for over 5 years now. I've practiced so many hours across so many days. I even had a lot done to practice. So why aren't I good yet? What is up, people? My name is Az and welcome to my channel. Now, if it's not clear enough to you guys, I am a music cover channel, a drum one to be exact. This channel's been my side hobby for shy of 3 years now, and it's gone through its fair shares of highs and lows. I hit 100 subs in its first 3 months. I paid a random stranger 70 quid for this shitty banner, and now I'm in the little drum community known as the Drum Tubers. When I first started my channel, I started posting weekly drum covers and made a very poor attempt to try and to branch out, making other covers such as this acoustic guitar one that we don't talk about, and a couple of other full covers and a bit of bass when I can barely play those instruments, let alone my main instrument anyways. And why, you may ask? I just don't practice enough. I don't know how to self-teach and I just don't practice them. So that's why I haven't done many of that recently, because it's just chaos. It's not like I never practiced the bass guitar, even if I struggle with learning, but it felt like I was forcing myself to learn them for the channel rather than learn them because I want to learn them. And obviously that's not what my channel's about. We're not here to force whatever. I'm really bad at reading off scripts. If you don't know, I've written a script for this video. It's the first time I've ever written a script. I don't know how these YouTubers do it, because I mean, the script's here. I've read through it and I'm like, okay, I'm going to say this. And I don't need to say it word for word, but how on earth do you do it? How do you do it? I keep saying everywhere. I'm going to have to have it in front, hello guys. Anyways, back to being serious. So I slowed down my uploads. Obviously I'm a full-time student. How can I balance the two things as it is anyways? That's for another video. And plus, what is free time anyways? Who has any of that? Felt like I was rushing uploads, trying to get them week in, week out, to the point where I was only half learning the songs. It wasn't like I wasn't learning them. I was relying on editing out the mistakes and tweaking little bits to make sure that what I played was right, and it was just a mess. They were not high quality. I was focusing more on the quantity over quality. But not in the sense of I need to get as many out as possible, but that's because that was my schedule and I was trying to stick to it. Evidently, the schedule does not work and the backtrack. And so I cut it down to a video every fortnight. But even these days, trying to post one video every 2 weeks felt like I was rushing, because I had to make sure I had a video ready within the 2-week gap. And yeah, 2 weeks is 14 days. That can be quite a lot of time. But when you don't have free time, that is not a lot of time. I was trying to, I had to learn the song, I had to memorize the song, and then I had to record it without it sounding too awful. And I just couldn't do it. It got to the point, the moment I hit my second, even in my first year, but evidently more in my second year, even though I slowed it down before I hit the second year. But by the time I got to the end of my first year, it was so hard trying to get these covers out that again, I was using the quality. I was rushing them again. And once again, my instrument felt like a chore. When they feel like a chore, I don't want to play it. It come to the point where I was like, well, what's the point in having this channel? I hate the fact that I'm forcing myself to go on the instrument that I love to play just because I need to get a video out. Who said I needed to get a video out? At the end of the day, I've now slowed down my uploads to whenever I have something ready. Nothing's changed. Matter of fact, I was actually getting more views at one point, despite the fact that I'd only posted once in a month. I got a short that hit 10k views. I gained 100 subscribers within that time, as in 100 extra subscribers. Can I point that out? I gained an extra 100 subscribers. I had just posted my 500 sub special and I hit 600. So it's not about how many videos getting out. It doesn't affect the channel to a certain degree. Obviously, I keep active within the community, but posting wise, it doesn't matter. And my hobby was no longer a chore, because I chose when I wanted to go on the kit. I'd choose I had some free time. And I get to choose what I want to do with it. Do I want to sit and play Pokemon and lounge around and do nothing? Or do I want to go on my drum kit? The days I want to go on my drum kit, my drumming practice, whether that's learning a song, practicing my technique, recording something, became 10 times better. I suddenly was improving a lot faster than I had been for the past couple of years. And my uploads, or the quality of my content, became better again. Because I was spending more time focusing on my drumming, making sure things are in time, they were not necessarily correct. I put correct in quotation marks earlier because it's a cover, so it does not need to be note for note perfect. So I can't really say correctness, but let's say correct, because obviously I'm playing a cover, and if I'm playing a pop song, I'm not going to play blast beats. Not that I can do blast beats, but that's a really poor example. And having this freedom to play when I want to play and not forcing myself made me happier. It made me like my hobby more. I was happier doing it. This is not the first time this has happened to me. It's not the first time where my own hobby felt like a chore. Back in lockdown, I was about a year into drumming and things were tough. I had drum lessons, but the drum lessons were through the phone rather than in person. And so it was on FaceTime. So I had my tiny phone on one of those awful, shitty, am I allowed to swear on YouTube? One of those awful shitty music stands, and he's miles away. He was on one, it stood up on one end of my room, and my drum's on the other side of the room. If I remember correctly, I did not even have an amp at this time. So it was just me hitting rubber, because I was on a different kit. I was on this Yamaha kit, can't remember the make, but here's the Yamaha kit. It was just awful, because the Wi-Fi was bad, because there's so many people on the internet at the same time because everyone was stuck at home. That even though my lessons are round the corner from where I live, the Wi-Fi was awful. It kept cutting out. He couldn't hear me opening and closing the hi-hat because no amp. So he didn't know if I was playing something correct. Could barely hear it, barely see it. It was just awful. I didn't know what I was doing. So it was just like, oh, here's this, here's this, here's this. And I was like, okay, so I practiced technique and I over-practiced technique, but I wasn't practicing all the technique perfectly, and I was never using a metronome for some reason. I hate myself. I literally hate myself for that. Like at the prime time, beginner moment, I should have been using a metronome. I got my doubles pretty good and stuff without a metronome. Yippee! And plus, the music that I had to play, if I was playing along to like a grade piece, for example, came out of a really cheap laptop I had at the time, where the speakers were on the bottom, but it was a flat bottom. So when it was propped up on a chair, you could barely hear it anyways. It was muffled for me. He couldn't hear it. My drum teacher could not hear it. It was awful. And it got to the point where I was like forcing myself to go on the kit. I just didn't want to. So I just didn't really touch it that much. I fell into a slump where I felt like I wasn't improving. I couldn't play anything. I felt like every song I wanted to learn was far too advanced, and that was off-putting, to the point where I was like, well, what's the point in playing? And then I fell out of love with my instrument for a while. Matter of fact, I never played a song properly until this channel. Nearly every song that I have played or covered on this channel, I have learnt brand spanking new. There's like 3 songs right at the beginning of my channel, which I had learned prior to the channel. And considering I started my channel in 2022, but I started playing in 2019, really does say something. It's why she exists. It's why this channel exists. Because without this channel, I don't think I would still be playing drums right now. I think I would have given up, wouldn't know what to do with myself. Like I said to begin with, I'm really bad at self-teaching. It got to a point where I just don't know what I'm doing. Nothing seems to be working. And I could just play singles on the snare. Yippee! That's great. That's awesome. Can I put it to a song? Apparently not. I don't know why. There's plenty of songs. I think it's because the straight like 4 on the floor or something gets so repetitive after a while when that's all you're playing as a beginner. I want to play all these cool songs that I was listening to, and I couldn't. So I almost planned to drop drums entirely, especially to a point where I had joined a band in my first year of college being UK, so I was 17, and we played twice. It was so awkward. I'd never done anything before, but they had done plenty in the past, and I didn't really know these guys. They were mutuals. They were friends of a friend. So I didn't know them, and I'm really bad at socialising, and I was so scared of messing up because it's the first time I was playing on acoustic kit in front of anyone. I was so shy that I wasn't doing anything but really basic. I'm all like, so timid, right? But I was so excited. It was my first band. I'd always wanted to be in a band. We rehearsed twice and then they dropped me. I was ghosted and I don't know why. And when I messaged, be like, hey, what's going on with the band? They were like, oh, sorry, we're not doing that now. But they still do band stuff. They rebranded or something like that. It's good for them. Shout out to them because they are really good musicians. They are good people. It's just that moment I actually wanted to quit. I thought, I'm awful. I'm a horrible drummer. I'm just not good. I'm not cut out for this. And I almost dropped drums again. So I suppose this really jumbled up, messy story that I've attempted to talk about is a very good example on how you should be practicing your instrument. Some people think practicing is hours every single day, consecutive, constantly, which is, yes, you know, practice makes perfect. Consecutive, repetitive practice is the way to do it. I agree. But if you're forcing yourself to practice, it doesn't work like that, I'm afraid. Like, yeah, to some degree, force yourself to practice the things you don't want to do and you get good at it. But if you keep forcing yourself to play something that you love to play to the point that it makes you unhappy, are you really practicing your instrument? And this goes for anything, to be honest. Are you really practicing it? Or are you forcing yourself to go on it because you feel like you have to? I personally think playing when I want to play, practice when I want to practice, is a much better approach than forcing myself day in, day out. Yet maybe it's slightly slower. It possibly is, but at my level, that doesn't bother me. I can play what I need to play, and I'm more than happy to practice what I need to practice. I'm not perfect, I'm far from it. I know I'm a bit rubbish at a lot of things, but that's what practicing is for, and that's what going on the kit is for. But I'm not going to force myself to go on the kit, because then what's the point? I don't feel like practicing it if I'm forcing myself. But if I'm going on the kit when I want to, I will more than happy practice that really hard thing that's been bugging me, or like when my brain just goes, yeah, we're no longer going to do this really simple thing that someone who's been playing for like 5 months can do. Did that the other day in my lesson, actually. There were some ghost notes. It was like an E and with your right hand on the hi-hat. Why? I couldn't do that. I took it away and I managed to do it eventually. I think partially ghost notes, the issue is I'm on an E kit, so my ghost notes are absolutely rubbish. But for whatever reason, my brain just went, yeah, no. So with this example, I'm just going to say, please don't ignore your technical exercises. Please don't ignore them. Technical exercises are your foundations for everything. Get your technique in and you are good to go. Any advice from any newbies? Any advice from, you know, anyone just starting out, or if you've never heard that advice before, bam! So practice when you want to practice. Don't forget your technical exercises, and also make sure you play to a metronome. Please play to a metronome. The worst thing ever is when you hear this amazing drummer, all these fast licks and chops and blah 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 blah, but they can't play single strokes to a metronome. And that's not me. Don't point that out to me. I can play to a metronome. I can play to a metronome. Just because I didn't play to a metronome when I first started out doesn't mean I can't play now. I promise. Practice is supposed to be fun. Practicing your instrument is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be dragging or boring or frustrating, although I understand not getting something right is frustrating, but that's besides the point. You are supposed to enjoy practicing your instrument. And I wish past me knew that. I wish past me knew that I didn't have to force myself to play the instrument when I'm exhausted, tired, not got much time to learn a song and record it. I wish past me knew that if I wasn't ready with a song, to not record it. It doesn't matter if I needed to upload a video in a week's time and I didn't have anything, because all you say is, hey guys, don't have a video. And everyone's like, yay. Everyone's like, study comes first, you are cool, in the less sarcastic tone. Then, you know, you wouldn't have to look back at your old videos and go, those are awful, they are so cringe, there is all these mistakes here that we couldn't cover up, because I hate it. I mean, for a matter of fact, I have some videos privated, because they are so awful. I can't bear to look at them. I'm actually surprised that this channel still exists. I mean, back in like 2020, I think, I started posting Instagram covers like this one, and then I dropped it like a month in. I wanted to post regular drum covers and I dropped it. I think I posted like 4 in total on my Instagram, and they still exist. You know, link in bio if you want to go to my Instagram. I do post some shorts and stuff there. They do exist, they're awful, but hey, it's a learning process. So I can't hate past me forever, and I can't hate her that much because she didn't know what was going on anyways. I was learning as the channel grows. That's how growth works. So there we have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's not too much of a rambling mess. I do have the script, like I said. I went a bit off topic and I skipped a couple of things because turns out I'm not good at reading scripts. Every other talking video I've done in the past, I've just waffled with no script, no thoughts, just going with the flow. And I usually do that, but I wanted to make sure I covered like different sections. So they're like bullet points, if you get me. But still, turns out I'm really rubbish at doing it. I don't know, it must be some form of pressure that's on it. Yeah, so leave a like, leave a comment. What do you think about your practice? What is practice to you guys? Let me know what your sort of practice is and how often you practice and X, Y, Z. Leave a commenting about practicing, and if you don't practice and you're just here to watch me waffle, hi! So subscribe to the channel for more, subscribe if you want more talking videos, subscribe if you just want to watch drum videos. More than happy, you know, everyone's welcome here. That's great, love it. Thanks guys, hope to see you soon. Have I got anything else to say? Nope, have a wonderful day, you lovely people. Goodbye! I'm gonna burp.